While I waited for the sun to shine, I was crying on my own. It was all a waste of time, all along. Yeah, I waited through the summertime for the sun to come around, come around, come around, come around. Oh, the rain will beat the sun.
I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on some brown paper to use as gift wrap. You guys really liked it when I did it earlier on in Vlogmas, but I'm going to use a couple of stamp sets that are not specifically Christmas, just to show you that you don't need to have specific Christmas stamp sets. I am going to throw in a Merry Christmas though, just so it says Christmassy. I've got this one here, which is just a nice, I don't know what you would even call that pattern, but you can tile it or you can just do random stamps with that one. I thought it's really pretty. I've got a set here that is in my shop, and I just thought it'd be useful to show you that it's not Christmassy, but we can still use it. I really like the idea of the jar. If you had a stamp that looked like cookies, that would be a really good combination to do. In fact, I do have one that looks like cookies, Christmassy cookies, but I've just said I'm not going to use Christmas stamps. This set is in my shop, and it also has a handmade stamp, which is great if you're making any gifts. And I've just noticed the little, it's like a little doily lacy ring, but you could use that as a wreath if you had another stamp with some little foliage on it. So I'm going to maybe use that one as well. And I've dug out another set that I have. I don't think this is in my shop. I think it maybe was. And I've noticed these little berries, or what looks like berries. So I think if I use that with a red ink, that might look quite nice. There's more little berries here as well. So I've got a few to play with there. So I'm just going to ink some stamps up and have a little play and see what goes well together, because as you know, I like to layer up my stamps as well, so maybe do a bit of that. And even that one is really nice too. If I did that in green, it would look good. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little play. This is my little case here that I keep ink in. I think you get these in, I think you still can get these little suitcases from places like The Works. I got a set of 3, but they're really useful. So I've got all my stamp blocks in here and my ink pads. I often get asked what ink I use. I tend to stick to Versacraft because that is all that I know. I know there's other companies out there. Oh, that is another one I've got actually, Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, which gives it a sort of faded vintagey look, which I really like sometimes in my journals. So yeah, other than Versacraft, that's the only brand that I've used, so I can't really recommend anything to you other than what I've used myself. So I quite like this one. It's called Versa Fine, so you can get a lot of small detail. If you've got really detailed stamps, that one is excellent. And also just the Versacraft ones are excellent as well, just for everything really. And Versa Fine as well, these are just different coloured ones. Got a couple of reds, and then I've got a couple of small mini ones. There's some of these little ones in my shop in various colours. I can't remember what colours are left, but these are great just for buying your ink in a slightly cheaper way than the big ink pads. With a lot of the ink you can buy, sorry, a lot of clatter in there, bottles of ink. So if your ink pad dries out, you just add on some ink, just go over it like that, rub it in, and then that refreshes your ink pad. That, I think that probably costs a lot less than buying a new ink pad, but then when you think how much life it gives you, it's really worth it as well. I've got a few little ink stamp blocks of various sizes because it's always useful. I've got a really small one just for doing anything that's tiny on a little stamp. It's really helpful rather than using a massive block. And I've got a sort of in-between size block as well, but if you're just starting out, I would recommend maybe one just that size because it works for smaller stuff as well, and then a bigger one in case you've got any really big stamps. I do always wash my blocks, but I think some of the ink is so permanent that it doesn't even come off the blocks, which is handy to know. Right, for the paper I'm going to use, I've got a nice forest green one there, so I might get that out. And I'll get out a red. That one is slightly less blood red. And then I'll get a black, I think. I'll go with that one. Everything fits back in here, but in a very, very specific way. I have to pack it just right. I don't think I need my blocks today because all of the stamps I've got are on wooden blocks already, which is really handy if you don't have the acrylic blocks. I've just grouped together some of the little stamps, and this one on its own looked okay, but I didn't think it looked great, so I've just done one on top of each other, and I think that looks better, like more of a longer sprig. And then I've just added some text as well, and I've just stamped it a few times so that it does end up faded, because I really like that look. I like that, it's pretty. I might find another stamp that's got something Christmassy written on it just to put it in. I've got a Peace and Joy, I think that might work quite well. That is in the set that's in my shop, so I'm going to use that one. I think that would look nice, just in some of the gaps. You can use a wet cloth to clean your stamps. I prefer just to use a wet wipe. These are biodegradable ones, so I don't feel too bad using them. Just take your stamp and give it a good wipe. You probably will find that you won't get all the ink off, but it's not a problem. It works quite well if you put it on the table and then slide your stamp across it as well. You're best to wipe your stamps as soon as you've used them, otherwise the ink will dry in and it won't come off very easily. For this one, I would like a more faded, vintagey look, so I'm going to use the Distress ink, which, as I said before, it goes on in a really sort of vintage faded way. And I've also got a VersaFine pad, which is in the colour called Vintage Sepia, so it is slightly like a brownie, a nice brown colour. So I'm going to use both of those ones this time. And I think I'm going to use some of the sort of lacy looking shapes this time.
Christmas is just around the corner, coming up just around the bend. Holiday couldn't be here sooner. Holiday for family and friends. And we've got pine tree, pine cone, evergreen, mistletoe, candy cane, Santa Claus, a gingerbread woman and a gingerbread man.
I just felt this one needed something a little Christmassy just to tie it together, so I've used the little snowflake that's in this set. And I know I said I wasn't going to use the Christmassy stamps, but I couldn't help myself. Just felt I needed a little something. But I'm quite pleased with that one. I really like the patterned one.
Coming up just around the bend. Christmas is just around the corner, coming up right down the line. Chestnuts roasting on the burner. Everybody knows it's Christmas time, and we've got Frosty, Rudolph, Snowball, Snowflakes.
I couldn't resist using the jar from this set. These ones are in the shop. I showed you those ones earlier when we used the little circle. Couldn't resist using the jar, and I dug out a little stamp that I had that was a heart, and I thought it would look like cookies, and it worked even doing it inside the jar. And then I just wanted a little sentiment there, so I've got a sweet Christmas wishes, and I added a little red bow. I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. It's so sweet, and the stamps are just like little drawings, hand drawings, and they look really vintagey as well. So that's just an off cut of paper from a big roll of brown paper, but nothing goes to waste. And I'm really pleased with that. It's very cute. You could use any shape here, even if you had a little star or a circle. Imagine you had little gingerbread men, that would be really cute. And that is not like exclusive to Christmas either. That would make a cute Valentine's wrapping or even birthday wrapping as well. But I just wanted to show that you don't specifically need Christmas stamps to do some stamping. Just to show if you've got stuff in your collection already, you could use it, just if you look at it in a slightly different way. Obviously, I've added in a few bits of Christmas. I mean, I lied. I said I wasn't going to. But yeah, I couldn't help myself adding in a few Christmas stamps. But I hope you get the idea that you don't have to.
Come joining us all. The feeling is here today. Come on now, let's go. Caroling through the snow all day. We've been good, but we can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas tree for you and me. Oh, little bear toys that cuddle and woo, dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming. Wake up with a smile. The feeling is right today. Magic in the air, 'cause something is waiting for me. Oh, I've been good, but I can last. Hurry Christmas, hurry now. I can't wait to see what's under the Christmas tree for you and me. Oh, little bear toys that cuddle and woo, dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming. Oh, little bear toys that cuddle and woo, dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming. Santa is coming. I know, I know. Santa is coming. Oh.
Good afternoon. It's been a busy Friday. Could you move? She has been absolutely wild today. There must be something in the air. She's been darting about the house. I think she finds little spiders sometimes and they become a rather fun plaything for her. I've managed to just get her to calm down now by sitting on the couch. She's been on her blanket getting lots of brushes, which she loves, but only when she's on her red blanket. The red blanket is disgusting. It's a fluffy, fleecy blanket, which was lovely when it was bought, but she's a sucker. She sucks it when she's getting stroked, when she's happy. Only when she's on that blanket can you do anything you like to her, and she wants a fuss. She doesn't like a fuss any other time. But she is a fun cat. She likes to play, but and she loves a brush, but only on the blanket. So she's been demanding so much attention just now. If I stop stroking her, she's on my knee to get my attention. But she's having a good brush, which she needs. I brush her quite often because she's not molty in terms of like, I don't find it all over the house, but when you brush her, you do get a lot on the brush. She's got a lovely, a double coat, I've seen it called, just the type of cat that she is. She is grey, but in certain lights, it's amazing. It just looks white. It's absolutely beautiful. She's going to settle down. Yeah, it's 1:45. I have just had lunch. Prior to that, I've just finished packing orders. There were a lot, so thank you very much. I've sold a lot of the Lucky Dip boxes as well, which is great because I literally had, or still have, some big cardboard boxes in my packing room, and they were piled up and they're full of all the excess stuff that is going in the Lucky Dip boxes. So that box is gradually getting emptier and emptier, which feels great. So yeah, packs orders. And then I don't know where the day's gone. I need to go out and pick Joshua up from school in an hour. I'm not going to get much more done in an hour. And then I need to pop into Lidl. So what started off as, I'll just pop in and get one thing. I now have a list as long as my arm. Isn't that always the case? There's a few offers on the app as well, money off stuff, which is worth getting because I would have got some of that stuff anyway. So yeah, my list is just growing and growing. Usually on a Friday I like to get a lot of housework done because with Joshua, he normally goes to his dad at the weekends, and that means the house stays tidy and clean for a couple of days while he's not here. I don't think I'm going to get much chance to do that today, so I might leave it and do it tomorrow. He's going off tomorrow. 11:30 I think, so when he goes I might give the house a blitz, and then I could just enjoy a nice quiet tidy house for the weekend, and I cannot wait for the weekend to just chill. I don't really have any plans. I do need to wrap Christmas presents, maybe watch a few cheesy films, but that's about it. Yeah, we've been watching Christmas films every night. I think I said that the other day. Last night we watched Your Christmas or Mine 2, which I loved. I really, really liked it. I liked that better than the first one, which is called Your Christmas or Mine. But I would recommend both if you're looking for a Christmas movie. I think that was on Netflix. Joshua's requested homemade pizza for tea tonight, so I'm going to get the bread machine on when I get back from the shops. And we will almost definitely watch another Christmas movie tonight. I'm quite in the mood for something like Jack Frost or something. We've got loads of classics that we watch every single year, like Elf, The Grinch, Home Alone, Polar Express, Jack Frost, The Santa Claus. There's probably some Muppets Christmas Carol. We've not watched that yet. Yeah, there's loads that we just like to watch, and then sometimes we'll find a new one to watch as well. So yeah, we've got lots to fit in. Yeah, that's about it really. Just filling you in on my day. It's been rather busy. Not sure what else will be in the video. Maybe I'll show my pizzas. I use the bread machine to make the dough because I've got a pizza dough cycle that's just 45 minutes long, which is brilliant. And I've got a favourite recipe that we always use now. I wouldn't ever steer away from it. It's so simple and it works really well by hand as well if you don't have a bread machine. I'll share the recipe if I remember. I'll take a photo of it or put it on the screen for a little while. Joshua found it in Pizza Express. It's on the back of the kids menu. It's just like a recipe to try at home, but it's perfect. And I'll have to raid the freezer, see what I've got for toppings, see what we're going to have on it.
Dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming.
I got a Christmas card the other week there from a viewer, Elaine. So Elaine, if you're watching, thank you for your card. I wasn't sure how else to get in touch with you, but thank you so much.
Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming. Santa is coming. I know. Santa is coming. Oh.
just a couple of notes on the pizza recipe. For some reason, by accident, I think I discovered that just adding in a little bit of bread flour makes a really soft, lovely dough, or like a crust. It asks for 112 grams or 4 ounces of plain flour. So I don't even weigh, I couldn't even tell you how much I put in. I just put in a couple of spoonfuls of bread flour into that to make up the quantity. And yeah, it probably varies each time I do it, but it always turns out good. But it just gives you a softer, slightly softer dough. And the water as well, it says 100 mils. I don't add 100 mils, I add 75 mils per person. So I always make enough for 2 pizzas, so I always double it. So I always end up adding 150 mils because I find that 100 per pizza is just way too much. But I think it depends where you live and the environment of your house, how absorbent, and what type of flour you're using, how absorbent your flour is. So it may work out differently for you. And you can add things like dried basil or other dried herbs and flavourings to your dough, whatever you want. Like I said, I use my bread machine, but I've also tried this by hand and it works out perfectly. It works really well, better than any other bread dough recipe I've done by hand, actually, in terms of proving and rising. But 45 minutes in the bread machine, I can't complain at that. It's brilliant. I have attempted to neaten up my hair a little bit for going out in public. I've just done it very casually, loosely, just to take out the frizz, because it does get a bit frizzy if I just leave it to dry naturally. It was rather strangely curly. I've got about 10 minutes till I need to leave the house, so I'm just doing little jobs before I go out, but I think it'll probably be dark by the time I get back, which is why I went to get the pizza dough on now. But I'll let you see how the pizzas turn out.
I'll let you do